Sit back and relax while we give you advice and tips on business matters and matters of the heart for busy executives. And now, Katrina and Edward. Hello, hello, hello. This is Katrina Brittingham, your navigator on your road to success. I'm here with the incomparable Dr. Love. You bring your favorite beverage.
Hello.
Hello. And we bring the advice. And this week, we had 2 weeks of the love topic because I could not let Dr. Love go without getting my answers. So now we
We
are
did it.
back. We are back. Yes. We are back. We are back with our next topic. And I know I talk about this all of the time. So I'm giving a fresh perspective, giving a little more detail on building your business brand, having an effective business brand. And we're going to talk about how you actually do that. Some things
Mhm.
will be things we covered before, while others will be some things that are new. Okay? Especially in this economy, we want to make sure that our brand stands out and is something that our customers are still loyal to, even
Mhm.
in a slow economy. People still buy their favorite beverage, even in a
Mhm.
slow economy. I know I was. I'm like, I'm still buying this,
Mhm.
even
Mhm.
though the
Mhm.
price is
Mhm.
going up. But
Yeah.
do you have that brand loyalty? Okay,
Yeah. People are still buying
so
McDonald's.
one of the many brands
Mhm.
that people are loyal and faithful to, even when the prices go up double and sometimes triple. One of the big things for me, I am a chip lover. The price has gone up, and you're getting less in that bag, but you're still buying it and paying that price if that is your vice. Now, that's my vice, you know.
Mhm.
I can never just eat one. Um, and everything. So, as we are preparing for the changes in the economy, you want to make sure that you are still standing tall and you're not fading out of existence. Okay, so in this, you're going to learn how to find your perfect customer, build valuable online assets that you own, that you own. Okay, we're going to get farther into that you own stuff, especially
Mhm.
as we go more and more online. Everything is moving to the digital space, the virtual space. All right, establishing an audience of subscribers, no matter what platform you are on. All right, who eagerly await your next post or your next video. All right, and have that. People are calling me. When is the next one? Or did you do it last time? If they missed it, just to make sure that they go in and get the fresh content. I had
Mhm.
that conversation during the week. Even people say, "Oh, when is Dr. Love's next?"
Mhm.
Recording. So people are waiting and anticipating. I'm
Mhm.
waiting, anticipating. I don't know
That's
where
right.
that's coming from. Okay, so create a media machine that runs itself. That's very important because social media can literally, I can attest, all day take all of your day, all of it.
Mhm. Mhm.
And developing online business ideas that you can monetize while you're sleeping.
Mhm.
My goal was always to make money while I sleep, and I
That's
do
a good
that.
goal.
Oh yes. So and I took the time to do that. I actually do make money while I sleep. All right. So the first step in this is establish the perfect customer for your personal brand. All right? How you do that? That is creating a niche. We talked about this before. All right?
Mhm.
The biggest mistake that newcomers into business that's trying to build their brand, and even sometimes people who have been in business for a while, is that they don't get specific enough.
Mhm.
You heard of the saying, or maybe you haven't because it's an older saying, a jack of all trades, a master of none.
Hmm.
And so what that means is that you know all of this stuff, but you haven't taken the time to master the one thing that you
Hmm.
need. Okay? So we all know a lot of things, but we should be an expert in something.
And something.
All right? When you make a commitment to build your business brand, it's only natural for you to want to speak to so many people as possible. But we all know it's impossible to speak to everybody. So and the biggest brands have mastered that. They don't
Hmm.
speak to everybody. They speak to a niche crowd.
Ah. Hmm. Miss
Okay?
Katrina, can I jump in just for a minute?
Hmm.
Give us a definition of a brand. Does everyone have a brand? What is a brand?
Everyone has a brand. A
Okay.
brand is what you're known by. And here's the thing, and I used to tell my clients, not used to, but I still do, tell my clients
Hmm.
this: if you don't brand yourself, the people will brand you. You don't want them to brand you because if they brand you, it might not be what you wanted to be known for.
Hmm.
So you have to know your brand. You have to control your brand. You put out to them who you are as a
Hmm.
business.
Okay.
Okay? So that's what a brand is. Like a case in
What you
point.
know is, can we say that what you're known for?
Yes, it is what you're known for. And
Okay.
so, like, basically, if you say, well, okay, you mentioned McDonald's. When somebody says McDonald's, they know what McDonald's is known for.
Yeah, you're not gonna get fried chicken,
Well, a chicken patty maybe that's deep fried, but not
yeah,
pieces, right? But they're known
you're not
for
getting
their
no chicken
burgers.
wings and no chicken legs.
Yeah, yeah. At
Okay.
least not in America. You go to other countries, you may get that, but their brand is burgers. So that's what they're known for, at least in America.
Hmm.
You go to other countries, they are known for, a case in point, if you go to India and places in India where cows are sacred, they can't do beef, but they're known for fast food. Getting my food and getting my food fast.
Mm.
Here, they're known for burgers and fast food. I need to get my burger fast. All
Hmm.
right? So they knew we're fast food. Whatever it is we're providing you, we're giving it to you fast and
Hmm.
hot and fresh. At least,
Hmm.
you know, that's what they're known for. Um
I like it. I like it. Yeah, that's good. That really gives a clear perspective of, what you want, what you're known for, or what you want to be known for if you're just getting started.
exactly. Well, even
Okay.
even after your seasons, you don't want to make sure and you want to refresh, and that's why I'm talking about this, how to keep your brand fresh because you want to still be known for that.
Mm.
So is once you are known for that, you have to continue to deliver.
Hmm.
So it's important to establish a great brand in the beginning, but you have to continue that brand.
You're right. Right. To make sure you're
So
still relevant.
make sure you're still relevant and make sure you are actually delivering upon what you're supposed to be known for. Businesses like go out of business when they stop delivering on what they're known for.
Mm. That's true.
Um, and I can't think of any examples right now, but it has happened. And those businesses have gone out of business because it was like, wait a minute, you used to sell burgers. What do you mean you're selling kebabs? What?
Hmm.
So you have to keep that brand fresh and you have to keep it in their minds. McDonald's has done well in, you know, evolving their brand, which is
Hmm.
why, like, because I used to work there when I was in high school, and they used to talk about Cafe McDonald's. Now it's McCafe, but that didn't come until years later because we laughed them to scorn. But now they have some products that are niche items
Hmm.
that they provide that they call McCafe, and it's
Hmm.
niche items that they provide fast. We always knew because they wanted you to like to actually be a cafe. You come in and you sit and you're staying for a while. We was like, that's never gonna work, and everything. We were teenagers, and we were like, that's never gonna work. They realized that we were right, and
Hmm.
everything like that. And so they had the mid cafe where it's like, okay, you can still get these niche items fast and through the drive through, and everything. And that's what I mean about keeping your overall brand in mind because then you'll turn off customers because they want the experience of what you're putting out there as far as your brand.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have to be careful even when you're adding new things and evolving to make sure that you're keeping your core customers,
That's
your
right. That's right.
niche, happy. They're
Bottom
the
line.
ones who
Bottom
have
line.
been making you money. Okay, so good
Well,
questions.
you what well one of the things that came to my mind that I just wanted you to talk on it, then you can move on. Sears and Roebuck.
Mm-hmm.
Sears was always a catalog business. That's how they began. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
could go to the Sears catalog, you could get what you need. Now, a phenomenal store. All of our grandparents, our parents bought from Sears, but Sears is
Mm-hmm.
out of business.
Well, Sellers went out of business for two things. They grew too fast, and they didn't evolve like they were supposed to when we came into the virtual age. They were very slow to adopt the online experience.
Mhm.
So it wasn't the fact that they were not cataloged because they still kind of had their catalog and they moved from the catalog to the stores and people were great with the stores like pretty much that was like they turned into a department store. It was a place where you can get
Mhm.
a lot of different things and people loved that, but they actually grew to because it was a case study when I was in college. They actually grew too fast, grew too many, put too many stores out too fast, and they couldn't take the strain of all of those stores. So then you
Mhm.
started to see stores closing, and it was fine. They managed it. They stayed for some years, but they
Mhm.
still had that hit from that. And then when online came, it just kind of knocked it off the block because they
That was
were
it.
not adopting. And then
Okay.
they had the competition from the Walmarts and the Targets because Sears was there before Walmart and Target even made it into our market. Sears was like kind of the northern store,
That was
and
it.
everything like that. And when these powerhouses came in that were innovative and took things to the next level when it came virtually, it just knocked them out the block.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, that
So
was
it wasn't
interesting.
necessarily their niche. It was just like even with your niche, that's what I said. As you change things and you innovate, you have to make sure that you keep that in mind. But they were slow to innovate. They were like, this has worked for. I mean, I think Sears was out for like more than 100 years or almost. This has
Mhm.
worked all this time. That hit them. It hit Value City. It hit
Toys
what
R
is that
Us.
other one? Woolworths. All of these places were like, we've been here. We've been a pillar. People are always going to come, and they were not right about that. And
Mhm.
they paid the ultimate price. So it's a lot going into that, and that we're going to go into that too, like going into the online space and being, um, you know, uh, innovative, but innovative in the right ways. So
Mhm.
you always ask the good questions. You always do. All right. So when you make the commitment to build your brand, it's only natural for you to want to speak to everybody. But it's good to have options. Um, you know, Speaking to everyone will be your downfall. It really will be. So when we even talk about the catering to different niches and everything, and I was like, with me, I saw a gap in the market, and I said, okay, I'm going to do concierge service. I'm going to do more hand holding, just a little bit more to give that more personal touch, and that works for me. Okay, I met the need of a specific customer that the other big boys did not. Okay, and it became very successful. People had complaints like, okay, yeah, I get this certain service, but it's just like, okay, it's just like, all right, we do it like this. This is what you're gonna do. We rolled this out. They had questions on how to actually use the services that I was providing or people were providing. And it was just like, once the work was done, it was just like, okay, you're on your own. So it's just like, you know, speaking to that group of people. There were some people who could take that and run with it. There were other
Mm-hmm.
people who could not. And it did not matter what the age group was, you know, because that was the thing in there. Oh, well, you know, these are people who are older, kind of like the dinosaur kind of people. But no, it didn't matter the age.
Mm-hmm.
So, meeting that need. Okay. So when you're doing your niching out, you want to ask yourself these questions. What is the niche? Specifically, even if you're online, especially if you're online, because there is a lot of noise online, and everything. So, what is setting you apart? What is making your voice be heard in the sea of noise? Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
that's what you want to, realize and things like that. Who is your customer? Who are they? I just named out my customers were the people who needed a little more, what I call hand holding, a little more instruction, to help them to actually utilize and be successful with the
Mm-hmm.
services. Because if I'm doing, executive coaching or career coaching or business coaching, I want to make sure that the people can actually use what I provide so they can be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody who goes into business went to business school. Let's be real, they did not. And you don't have to go to business school to be successful. Yeah, my professors are feeling a poke right now, but it is what it
Mm-hmm.
is.
It's
You
true.
do not have to go to business school to be a successful business owner. You don't even have to have a degree. Yeah, my colleges are, you know, feeling something
Mm-hmm.
right now, but you don't,
That's right.
and everything like that. And history has proven this
But you have to
that
have
you
the
do not.
you have to be you have to have the education.
You have to have instruction. I will say
Mm-hmm.
you have to have coaching,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily a book education,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily sitting in a class full of 30, 40, 50 or more other people.
Yeah.
You have to have a mentor. Like most
Mm-hmm.
successful business people had mentors, whether they were university taught. Because even when you're university taught, that's book knowledge, that's history. You don't know the depths of business until you're actually in it. And so having those mentors, those people who have been there, done that before you, is what really makes it. It makes people be successful. There are people who do not have all of these letters at the end of their name that are very successful in business. So, um, disclaimer for that, um, and everything like that, because you have people who feel like that they won't be successful in business because they don't have all of that. It's really, you know, up to you where you get your education from, but the base of it is that you have to be willing to listen to those who actually know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously. Um, so you want your content marketing to appeal to certain people, which you can serve them better. This I can serve this group better in the world. Okay. So what does it look like to build your personal brand? So before we go too deep into this, you want to do this exercise. All right. You can rewind the video after we come back from being live and go to that. Okay. You want to take out a piece of paper or pull up your notepad on your computer, your OneNote, whatever you use, and find out what's your perfect customer's name. Where does this customer live? This is a case study, so it doesn't have to be somebody's actual name. All right.
Mm-hmm.
What are they struggling with? Okay. What's their pain point? I like to say. All right. How much money does your ideal customer earn? How much disposable, I'm adding something to that. How much disposable income do they have?
Hmm.
Because when they're buying a service, no matter what it is, from a pair of shoes to coaching services, this is their disposable income. This is the income after they've paid all of their bills, bought food, and
Hmm.
then now they're all satisfied in that area of their basic needs. What's their disposable income? Okay? A lot of people fail because they just look at what the person actually makes and not what they have to spend after they pay their expenses. Okay? What does your perfect customer want? What do they want? You can have all the services, you can have all the products in the world. If nobody wants it, you're not going to be successful.
Hmm.
Unless, because there is a market that people can convince people of something they need that they really don't need. I have a closet full of stuff that I was like, I need that. And I might have used it one time and found out
Hmm.
I didn't
Well,
really have
at
to
the
have
time
it.
you needed it.
Exactly. Especially when you're watching things at 2 o'clock in the morning. Everything sounds great. Um, so, what is the ultimate outcome that your perfect customer is searching for when they buy from you? What is the experience? What is their goal? How is it making their life easier? How is it answering their need or their pain?
Hmm.
So that is an exercise that you need to do. Told you we're going to be digging a little deeper in there. Um, so
It's a
this
good
is whether you're,
exercise.
yes, and this is whether you're branding or, because this happens sometimes, rebranding your business.
Hmm.
And we'll go into that in another thing because you, again, have to be careful with rebranding your business for the reasons that we're talking here. I mean, because you do have people or businesses that will rebrand, they're going to a new niche. And they might want to take some of their customers with them, or if they're completely leaving that market altogether, how to find their perfect niche. Again, that sweet spot. Okay? And the more specific you are in doing the exercise above and the things that we're doing, the better off you will be. Okay? I had to do rebranding from when I did career resume writing. I actually started out just as a resume writer, but then I had to rebrand myself as a coach, but also as a business and executive coach, which took
Hmm.
me out of a certain space and into another space. It was kind of a similar space, but it was a different niche altogether. It really was. And so, how do I rebrand that? And that had some serious things because things I was ending. I mean, most people, they still ask about Career GPS, which was the radio show that I did before I had this, and then had it at the same time, and slowly eked that away because my clientele was different, and everything. So just rebranding that and making sure that I stuck to that it still was the highest quality, and that I was delivering what I needed to deliver to my clientele. So, like I said, that's a whole other show.
Hmm.
So the next one is building a website. Yeah, no, we get a lot from that. Do I have a website? Yes, I do. I've had one from the start of the business. Even when I rebranded, I had to go back and redo that piece of it. Is it easier to have a Facebook page or a LinkedIn page or a YouTube page, and the list goes on for social media? Of course.
Hmm.
Of course it is. It's cheaper because many of these places are free. Um, it could save you time because they've already
Hmm.
done the back end work. But when you do that, this is sort of a mistake, and I'm gonna tell you how why. And it's not even sort of a mistake; it's a mistake because when you build your brand on one of these social media sites, what you're doing is building your business on a platform that you do not own. If you're on Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg owns that platform.
Hmm.
And what does that mean? They control that platform. At any time, they can kick you off of that platform and you
Hmm.
will lose everything that you built. At any time, you can have someone, and this has happened to so many people, where, you know, you think you're following the guidelines and all of a sudden they just completely wipe you off the map. Or
Hmm.
someone can come in and steal your identity on there and they do something and it wipes you off the map. And some people may have been able to get their sites back and some could not. All of that content that you put there is now under their control. And when they delete it all and it does not come back.
Hmm. Now, what about if you maintain your email list?
Email list is different. That should be actually connected to your domain from your website.
Hmm.
So if you have, like, case in point, ventureready.net, that's a website that comes automatically with an email that matches that. So I have the info at ventureready.net. That's all connected to my domain that
Hmm.
I own because I purchased it.
Hmm. But now
I
I'm
have
thinking,
control over that. Go ahead.
if I had started, if I had known what I know now, I would have started with a landing page or two or three and then built into a website rather than going to a website knowing that landing page is a little bit more direct, a little bit more specific for what you're promoting at the time.
Well, honestly, you should have a website, but you should have a landing page. You can have landing pages too. The
Hmm.
website should be the foundation of your landing pages
Hmm.
for different things. And like I said, we can go a little bit deeper on website building
Hmm.
because that's a whole show too.
Hmm.
Um, and this is coming from someone who built her website not knowing anything about website building from scratch when she first started, and then
Hmm.
went into having a web designer and a webmaster manage my page. Um, and I am so happy I went that way. And as I said, that would have to be a whole nother show to explain why I was happy I went that way. I actually had a website before I even moved into the business side of having like a business page or whatever on the different social platforms. Um, but because that was what was recommended to me by my mentor, because I was like, oh, I got this. And he's like, no, you don't own that. You want something that you own because you can control that. So it's like renting an apartment versus having a house. Yeah, that's wonderful, but they can put you out at any time. And it's not necessarily that you broke the rules. I had a friend who was in an apartment for years, and then that building went condo. And they were like, well, you can purchase this. They didn't necessarily have the capital to purchase. So guess what? They had to move out.
Hmm.
It's the same thing with the online space. If you are on these platforms, they can tell you, we don't want you on it. You have to move off of this space. And the difference is in your apartment, pretty much you have to clear that out. You get to take your stuff with you. That's not so on social media. So, and then you have your customers who are used to going to this site for you. And then one day you're just completely not there. You don't want that when it comes to your business. It's like they close shop on you overnight. So you don't want to have that. So this is something when it calls when you're doing the social media thing and they own it is referred to digital sharecropping because they own the land. You're just planting on it. So you should own your own media. You should. Um, when you publish your content on your website, the growth of the content will compound over time, which means people will be coming to your website. You're gonna be known for your website. Even I tell people when you have social media and stuff, have your website built in there. Like at the bottom, for more information, go to this website. So they're actually used to going to your website, just in case somebody comes to your site and like, wait a minute, what's going on? And I've done that when people were missing. I'm like, now I'm going to their website because I'm used to going to their website. And sometimes their website wasn't there, meaning they went out of business. Sometimes it was still there. But if this platform goes down, do people know where to go and where to find you? If you have people that are loyal, those evangelists of your business, they will search for you. So you want to make sure that you own your own. Um, the more people come to your website or traffic that's driven to your website, the more valuable your website will be. Okay, in terms of the revenue it generates, because your website is a hub. It's a great thing. People can purchase on your website, hopefully, and everything your services. You can communicate with them. You can have news of speaking engagements if you've written a book. All of that stuff is intertwined on your one space where people can go. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So with your website also, you can control your branding. When you're going to a social site, you may have a little page that has your name on it, but guess whose name was on top of that? The people who own that site. The YouTubes, the LinkedIn, all of that is emblazoned even more than your own brand. Remember, the key is for people to know your brand. What are you known for? They're coming to Facebook. What is Facebook known for? They know what Facebook is known for. They know what LinkedIn is known for. What are you known for? And that should be what's emblazoned in people's mind on your website and all of that stuff. Now, yeah, they can come to social media to see if you have something there and everything like that. But you want to, all of this is about controlling your own brand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And having people known for it. Everybody knows Amazon. They have a website. They also have a social site too. But most of the time, people go to Amazon.com. Most of the time. So that's a big thing of it. You want to learn how to make your content searchable on a website using a search engine optimization. And we'll go more into that later on. If we have time, we might be continuing this in next week because we run out of time a lot because these are
Mm-hmm.
meaty and weighty topics. You want to use social media to drive traffic to your website where your brand is. So you can use it as a tool, but it shouldn't be your sole source of where people can find you. Your website should be that main source, should be that foundation. It should be the foundation for everything. Like we were talking before, your landing pages and things like that. Those landing pages will actually have a link from your domain that you have purchased that will ultimately lead you to the website, but that page of that website. You can more effectively connect email addresses or collect email addresses. I don't know why I can't speak today, but you can more efficiently collect email addresses that you can store in your CRM system, which is your customer relationship management system. You know, these are people who are interested in what you're buying because they came there. So when they get an email from you, they're not feeling like you're spamming them. I know that came up before, and I said I would talk about that. Um, like the difference between just spamming people. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because when they go to your website, you have a thing that where they sign off. Can do you want to get periodic emails, and they can actually control how many emails they get from you. So then
Mm-hmm.
now that you're not spamming them, they've agreed to get these things. Okay, marketing your services, your products, upcoming news, speaking engagements. They have agreed to that, and now people can say, "This is what I want. This is what I want. This is what I," based on their interest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when you're spamming people, they're not really interested in what you have. They have not agreed for you to send this. And then that causes disgruntled people who may have been in your niche that's now not going to buy it from you because you gave. That's like somebody knocking on your door or coming to your home uninvited. Same type of concept. Easily convert traffic that you're getting into sales. That's where landing pages come in, because even when you are marketing your website and the different services, they come up, this service, that service, that service. So then they go in there, and now you have a landing page that is now selling. May even have sales funnels if that's what you do. Your website is the hub for all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And people are going there because obviously they're at least curious to see if this is someone that I want to work with. Um, and it puts cash in your bank account. That's one of the things. While you are sleeping, you can be making money from your website. Because people will sometimes call you, but a lot of times, especially in this digital age, people will just buy the service. I'm
Mm-hmm.
asleep. I've already made money. That actually happened a couple weeks ago. I woke up to a sale. I was like, oh, okay, let me get on that.
Mm-hmm.
um, so we talked about why social media can be dangerous for your business, because you will have get different things. Hello, your account is has been suspended for. You might not even know why. Like, wait a minute, what happened? Or that might not even been you. It could have been a system error. But all of a sudden, your page is gone, and they may even give it back to you. But when they do, most times it does not have the content that it had before, because when it shuts it off, well, suspended it may, but when it's like your account has been taken down, when they bring it back up, all of that stuff has been wiped,
Mm-hmm.
all of it. So yeah,
Yeah, that is a problem.
and it's a problem, and it can be down for an instant. But depending on the business you do, an instant is just enough for you to lose a whole lot of sales, a whole lot of clients, or it could be down for days, or it may not come back
Mm-hmm.
up at all. So you want to control that. All right. So we can go into where you can go to build a website. Like I said, that's a whole another show. So we're going to keep going because I'm looking at the time. Um, you can write articles on your site. Um, have it weekly, daily, however you want. You can have guests come in and write articles on your site, and everything like that, because you don't necessarily have to be the expert in that. You know, this, especially if you're coaching, like I do business. I have people who are, you know, experts in building websites. Is that me? No. But my people may have a need for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, somebody who has that expertise. And when I mean expertise, I mean they know the ins and outs of it. I can build one, but if something goes down, guess what? I got to go to my webmaster. You know,
Yes.
so you can have somebody who um, does branding for a living or content, for a living, certain things that will, uh, show you do this. And other companies do that. That's why they have employees. Employees come in with a certain expertise, a specialty, and they do certain things that the CEO, the owner, whatever, may not know or even have time to do. So that is the basis. If you are looking for people to fill positions, guess where that goes? Your website. You may post it other places, but your website. So, case in point, I had a customer, not a customer, someone this week, who contacted me about a certain service. It's like, I just wanted to know if you were hiring, and I let him know. I said, no, I'm not hiring for that at the time. I have a contractor for that. I was like,
Mm.
but I will keep you in mind, for that. And if the position becomes available, it will be posted on my website.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you want to be able to do that. Okay, writing is also the best way to become an expert in things. I know that I have a couple books that put you in a certain space, and you can start with articles. I did start with articles. Um, and everything like that. You can have that posted. Even when I wrote for other places like Forbes and things like that, those articles were on my website. Like, oh, the owner was featured in Forbes. Here's the article. A link to your website, and we're gonna come back to that too, because with that, well, actually, we're not. We're gonna go into that. It is called a backlink. So basically, if you have a link to another place and they link you, which they do if you have your business, they ask you right away, do you have a business? Your website is connected to that. That makes your website more credible
Mm-hmm.
and more valuable in the face of Google and the virtual entities. Like, oh, wow, they're really something because basically in virtual terms, other people are talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So what's the backlink?
I just explained it. Like if you write an article or something like that, or someone mentions your company and your website, that link links back. Like when they click on it, it takes them to your website.
Mm.
So it's a link from another place or another website that directly connects back to your website.
Right to you. Okay, got it.
Um, I'm sorry, you said something.
No, it said got it. Backlink.
Ah, okay, gotcha. Um, 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 Number five, and we're gonna stop with that. We didn't even have a commercial today. Hmm, interesting. Um, um, Number five is starting a podcast, hosting online show like such as this, which is two different things. That's a whole nother show. That is coming up. It is on the list of what the difference between a podcast and online media is. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you can start that. That's a way to build your credibility. When I first started out, podcasting was all the rage, and again, we'll get into another show why I chose online broadcasting versus having a podcast. I had both at different times, and I
Mm-hmm.
made a decision for that. So that's definitely going to be another show because I have people ask me all the time. It's like, oh, I want to be on your podcast. I said, no, this is online media. This is an online TV show. This is
Mm-hmm.
actually a TV show. And people are like, what's the difference? So I have that conversation all the time. So I want to talk about the difference between that, and that's going to come in a later show.
That's good.
But why would you go on these platforms or do you choose between the two? The answer may not be what you think it is. If you want to do it, guess what? Everything is for what? We're putting this content out there because we want to make money. And that's the real deal. We want to share information, yes, but we want to make money. You can monetize these things. Again, making money while you sleep, because once things are recorded and it's out there and people are picking up services, guess what? We have both from being on here had people call us for events. So it is what it is. So it is what it is. So
Hmm.
is can be difficult to monetize a podcast versus online media like TV and radio. So that's the difference too.
Hmm.
Unless you have millions of downloads of your podcast, you will struggle making any meaningful income directly from your podcast, and I've learned that. Um, you just will. Um, so you can put ads on your podcast and everything like that, and you can generate a whole lot of money. We have sponsors that sponsor the show from time to time, but a lot of it is from people seeing you. And it's on the different platforms. Like someone told me they pulled up um, a video from like years back, and I was like, wow,
Hmm.
that thing is still out there. Um,
Yes.
and
Yes.
that's how they discovered me,
Right.
coming up in their streams. And then they contacted me, looked at me. They was like, I looked from there. I went to your website, looked at your website. Again, that's the foundation. Everything people will go searching for you. And they said that they saw other people and they went to search for a website and couldn't find one and just felt like they were not legit
Hmm.
because they didn't have a website.
Hmm.
Um, your website also explains your mission, your vision, what services you provide. What does that sound like? It sounds like your business plan. It's a digital business plan. May not be for investors, so it's not written in the same way and everything like that. But this is what people look at when they decide that they want to do business with you. Any thoughts, Dr. Love?
No, that's important because I was just thinking about exposure,
Mm-hmm.
exposure, exposure, exposure. You know what I'm saying? Because as you stated, once a person see you and you speak to their need or you speak to their pain, they're coming. You know what I'm saying? And having that social real estate where we can come to you. I use it like your home, where they come to your home and
Mm-hmm.
can check you out and see what's going on. Then they're just so much more comfortable with doing business with you. One of my coaches said, business is done at the speed of trust.
Mm-hmm.
When people
Mm-hmm.
get in and see you and feel that they can trust you, there's a connection. It's time to do business. Uh, exposure. When you were just talking, that hit my mind. Exposure.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And all of this is about exposure. And having your brand tight will get you that exposure. Delivering upon the services, that's part of your brand. What is the customer experience? That's part of your brand.
Hmm.
Okay? So, because again, it's what you're known for. Are you known for delivering on time?
Hmm.
Are you known for providing excellent customer service? Or are you known for, I had to wait forever. Then when I got it, it had a whole bunch of errors in it. The customer service was rude. All they wanted was my money.
Hmm.
Now you're known
That
for
is
that.
so.
That's your brand.
That's right. I had a customer say that to me, and it was just it's such a wonderful feeling. They said, I came, I had an expectation, but you exceeded my expectation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good when a customer comes and they experience you, because that was a transition in business. We think we were doing business, and then you said, well, what is the customer experience? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And that's where you took off with Starbucks and different companies said, we're creating experiences for you. And we
Mm-hmm.
want you to have wonderful experiences. So you hear banks now, banking reimagined,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So they're reimagining what what kind of service, what kind of experience can we create for our clients that they say, I don't want to go there. I like the experience over here.
Yeah.
That's what you want to
Hmm.
create.
And honestly, what you strive for is to exceed expectations. Because here's the thing, customers will write reviews, they will tell their friends, they will become evangelists. In two cases, when you exceed their expectations and when you don't meet their expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
That's right.
You might
And they
have
tell
some
more.
that trickle in. Hmm?
They they tell the numbers are funny. They tell five people when you exceed their expectation, but when you fail, they tell 50. They tell everybody. Do you?
I will go even to more extreme. If you exceed my expectations, I may tell 5 to 10. If I have a horrible experience, everybody I meet, I'm going to
Everybody
tell
needs.
about
Everybody
that
needs to know
horrible
this.
experience. Everybody. And it just is what it is.
That's what it
Think
is.
about it. When you are talking to somebody, you could be on a train or waiting for a meeting, and you'll have somebody who brings up a horrible experience. You're a stranger. They don't even know you.
And they say, "Let me tell you mine."
People will tell people they know about excellent experiences, but they'll tell everyone, including
Everyone.
people they don't know, about that experience. That don't go there. Mm-mm. No.
Hmm.
It's just the nature of the beast.
It's the nature of the beast. That's right.
If you do a good job, they may tell 1 to 5. That's think about it. The 5 stars. You'll have when you go on things for products, you may have 1 or 2 or 3 people with the 3 stars. But my golly, if it's horrible, you'll have a million 1 stars. If it's great, you might have, like you said, 50 to a couple hundred, depending on how popular their stuff is. It's always that way.
Always.
It's always that way. What you also want your podcast to do, you can find guests through places like Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. I found guests for shows on all of those platforms. I even think I found a guest through YouTube, but they reached out to me because and everything. Just how the nature of YouTube is. So it'll help you build your brand again. You have the SEO, the search engine optimization, because we're online for people when they're searching for different things and you pop up in the mix. It's always wonderful when I search for something, because I'm always doing my research and I pop up, my website pops up. I'm like,
Hmm.
I'm in the mix. It's always a wonderful thing to see
Yes,
that.
I'm in the game. I'm in the game.
And I always tell people every now and again, I Google myself just to see what's out there. And I'm always amazed. I'm in stuff that I had no idea people put my business in the conversation or put me in the conversation. Um, it's always amazing to me. Pretty much, it's good. I had one experience where somebody was had done something to people in our area, like giving these bad reviews and everything. They had never had our services and stuff, and then we had to kind of like band together to get that off. But you want to search that too, because you always have unscrupulous people who are scammers and things like that. So you want to check that just to make sure again your brand is saying what you want it to say, because you always have
Hmm.
someone who wants to capitalize on that or say that your band say, oh, our business is better, and everything like that, and have never experienced it, just trying to do it because they see that you get high numbers and stuff. Yeah, that was an experience
Yeah.
to have that, but it let me know that I must have been doing something right
Hmm. Hmm.
for someone to come. And I had seen it, saw my name, I started doing it, and like, my phone just blew up, my emails. Oh, Katrina, did you see? Did you see? And I'm in the process of talking to somebody like, I saw your name here and this and reaching out. They're reaching out to me, like, your website is. I was like, yeah, I know. And we have a wonderful in this group, a wonderful lawyer. And so she helped us um, with that along with her because they had her company on there and everything to cease and desist. Um, their actions. So you definitely want to make sure that you're searching yourself every now and again just to make sure that these scammers um
Hmm.
because they were actually claiming to have the certification and be connected to the association for our industry. They were claiming to be a member. They weren't even a member of that industry. um because we checked with the association. We happened to be board members at the time. I was like, no, this what? So we had to bring it to attention to of them, so they knew that someone was using their name, and getting help with informing companies that were a part of that association that they were actually on the list um, to get that thing handled.
Hmm.
So that is actually, we did actually make it through um, all of that. We are going to
Okay.
go through the 7 ways to monetize your personal, your professional brand of your business on the next episode. So be on the lookout for that. Because I know that's what y'all want. Because we always talk about when it comes to business, all about that dollar,
Hmm.
and making that money. You're in there to do that to make money. On the flip side, that's like employees go to work every day, and yes, you want to enjoy it, but you're going there for a paycheck. And so we want to get down to the brass tacks of actually making that money. It is not a dirty word. It is not. It is
Hmm.
not. The love of money is the root of all evil, not money. So
That's it. Not plenty. Not plenty of the love of money is not the not plenty of money.
exactly. So we are going to go into that next week because we are at the top of the hour. Like I said, we didn't even have a commercial, but that's fine because we were getting into the nuts and
Mm.
bolts of things.
Yeah.
Do
Yes.
you have any final words before we close out, Dr. Love?
No, I thought it was a great program. I think you covered a lot. As you said at the end, is important to understand and to know what's out there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of your name, what's around your business, you know what I'm saying? Because as we said, that's the brand. Mm. So if anything's out there negative, that's not a part of your brand.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to know what's out there so you can deal with it, like you said, erase it, confront it, but things are just not happening out there and you don't know what people are saying about you.
Well, I want to
So,
say this. You want to hope that the negative thing is not really connected to your brand.
mm,
Sometimes it's just an all out lie. Some of it could have been a customer who may not have expressed to you that maybe they had an issue with your service. So, what you
mm,
want to do in that case is follow up on it.
hmm yeah.
Oh, wow,
Because
I didn't realize that this happened. How can I make this right?
hmm yeah, miscommunication is huge.
Hmm. And mistakes happen.
It does.
They do. And so, as a company with your ethics, are you fixing your mistakes?
Hmm. Hmm.
That's part of your brand too. How do you handle rectifying when something really does go wrong? By the company as a whole, or by an employee or a contractor, that did work. So um, yeah, you have the scammers out there, and that's definitely you want to handle that and get that taken care of. But there are times where things just don't work out the way we necessarily wanted it to. So, we just have to be mindful of those things and handling that. You'll have people who come back, oh, this happened and they didn't, this, and then you'll have the update. Oh, the company was wonderful. They reached out to me and, they did this. You'll see that on there too, and
Hmm.
everything. And then people will see, wow, when something happens, when they make a mistake, when something didn't come up, something came in the mail, and it's happened all the time.
Hmm.
Or, I'm not going to say all the time, it happens, at times where you get the thing that you bought at 2 o'clock in the morning that you really didn't need anyway, but it comes broke. broken. How do you handle that? It may not have been
Hmm.
in your fault. It could have happened in shipping, but how do you fix it? Because that's part of the customer experience. How do
That's
you make
part
it
of it.
right? All right. So thank you so very much for this episode because, as you know, me and Dr. Love can go forever. But we are being mindful of your time, and we will see you next week. Bye bye. Thank you for joining us for another episode of High Tea with Me. To be a sponsor or a guest, contact us at info@ventureready.net. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time.